I was a product of the 60s, and I had a very idealistic view of wanting to change the world, and I still do.
Richard Davidson is a well-renowned neuroscientist, but I think of him as an explorer, mapping our brain's incredible possibilities and leading the way to a deeper scientific understanding of everything from memories to happiness.
I had an intuition that the human mind was kind of the next scientific frontier, and that if there were some way to cultivate more positive minds, we could change the world for the better. I began with most of my focus on the negative side of things. And then when I met the Dalai Lama in 1992, he asked me, why have you been using the tools of modern neuroscience just to study anxiety and stress and fear and depression? Why can't you use those same tools to study kindness and compassion? And it was like, whoa, just a total wake-up call for me. And that is, in fact, what we've been doing since that critical moment. One of the first ways in which we decided to begin was something that His Holiness encouraged us to do, which is to test individuals who spent years training their mind. These people have spent, on average, about 34,000 hours of lifetime practice. And so in that particular experiment, we were looking for signs in brain electrical signals to ascertain whether those signals, when individuals are actually meditating, showed anything unusual. And what we found was remarkable. Gamma is a brain rhythm that is occurring at roughly 40 cycles per second. And in the brains of the advanced Tibetan meditators, we found the presence of these gamma oscillations that went on for tens of minutes, and they were very high amplitude. The brains were also significantly different when they weren't meditating. And these differences reflect the enduring traces, if you will. And it gives us some clue that, in fact, the baseline state of these individuals is transformed as a consequence of their practice. Around here, we talk about healthy minds and well-being as skills. All of the scientific research is leading inevitably to this conclusion. These simple, ancient practices that were developed 2,500 years ago are now being tracked with instruments that have just become available in human history for the first time. We use MRI to analyze the structure of the brain, the function of the brain. We can actually see changes in subtle blood flow to different regions of the brain. And so there is undeniable evidence that practices to cultivate well-being influence the functioning of the brain. Most of the time, our brains are being shaped unwittingly. The invitation in all of this work is that we can actually take more responsibility for the shaping of our own brains by engaging in healthy habits of mind. One of the important constituents of well-being we call resilience. We could actually track the brain circuits that are responsible for this. We have shown that we can actually influence these brain circuits through training. And we can take someone who was not so resilient and improve their resilience. And they actually show improvements in their well-being. I think that one of the important insights from our work is that the mind can be transformed, that we all are born with a capability for change, and that the seeds of living a life that is compassionate, that's kind, that's generous, is within each of us. And if we all believe that, I am absolutely convinced the world would be a much better and happier place.